Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live. How are you? Shout out Michelle for being the very first comment today. Please, live from Las Vegas. Please make sure y'all are hitting the thumbs up button. Make sure you're tapping the screen to give me all the likes over on TikTok. And Instagram, I don't know what y'all do. If they're hearts, I think that y'all can push or something. I'm not really sure. All for free, of course. Just the stuff that promotes the show for free. I would really appreciate it. Shout out Mary Kate for joining live today. Topper, Kimberly, Kay Kitty, Cecile, Lucy, The Way I See It. How are you? We are having such good weather. I laid out a little bit by the sun today. By the sun. I would be very burnt. I laid out by the pool today, but did not get in. Had a great weekend, scooted over a few hours away to visit one of my daughters for her sorority mom's weekend. Y'all, these colleges, God bless them, they want the parents at their kids' colleges like all the time. I mean, if they're in regular college, there's parents' weekends, there's other stuff. If they're in a sorority, there's parents' weekends, there's mom's weekend, there's dad's weekends. I mean, it's like every semester. I'm like, look, this is not our only kid. Like, we still have 2 kids home in high school. Like, we're not just up and leaving our kids all the dang time. But anyways, it was so fun though. Had a little bit of drizzly weather on the way home, but other than that, it was a really good time. Spent time at her sorority house, which she will live in next year. This year she's in the dorms. And, met most of her friends already multiple times, but it's always good to see them again and all dressed up in their like spring dresses. It was so cute. And then we painted, like painting with a twist. It was not good. I mean, the time slot, there was like 3 different choices of pictures, and then that affected your time slot. So the time that we picked, the picture that we picked was like a lake or something with like frog lily pads with the pink irises or whatever, the flowers on them, lily pads. It should have been easy, and we just did not have a great teacher. I've done these, my kids have done all these painting type classes at birthday parties when they were little kids, and they do a really good job of like teaching you step by step. Okay, now do this, and then all of a sudden you're like an artist. And I thought, oh, this can't be that complicated, right? Well, we didn't have the best teacher. I mean, it was kind of like a little bit rushed, a little bit crowded. It was in the kitchen area. Well, not really kitchen area. It was it's in the sorority house, the room that they meet in. So it's kind of a big room, but not huge. They had all these table and chairs lined up. Everyone's dressed nice. Nobody wants paint on. There was no smocks. I mean, I've been to these birthday things or these painting with a twist things, and they've got smocks for you. There was no smocks, and it was a company, but she only had one person, so people had to go up and get their water. People had to go up and get their paints. People had to get more paint. We had to get paper towels. I mean, it's cute. I mean, it's cute. It was a moment, right? It was a moment. It was an artistic moment. There's rivers in this college city where my daughter goes. So lots of people were out on the river. We had really good weather. We ate dinner off the river. So we were watching people at like 7:30 at night, like kayaking and jumping in the water and floating. And it was really cute. So had a good time. Then we go on a little hike yesterday, which when she looked it up, we were going to go to this place that she and her friends have been hiking, but we went to a different place. I didn't have the banner going. And we thought we were going to see bluebonnets. If you've never seen Texas bluebonnets, it is our state flower. And they're so cute. They're like these tall, narrow, they're blue, cornflower blue. It's just a really pretty shade of blue. And they're almost always planted or, wildly with Indian paintbrushes, which are like this reddish orange color, very similar shape, very cute. Tons of them in March, usually. So we thought we were going hiking where we were going to see some of those. No. Instead, we pull up this particular hiking area, this park, if you will, had ancestors. I don't know. It was like 6 or 7. The plot literally said ancestors, and it had this big I mean, I don't even know, 15-foot gate that was locked all around it. Very ceremonial area. You couldn't really see what it said on the tombstones, but they were definitely tombstones. And then my daughter finally read one of them, and it said something about it was reburied in like March of 2020. So I'm not sure if they came up, if I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it was very like I almost didn't want to even. It looked so peaceful and like I don't know. I just want to be respectful. Anyways, we go to get started on the hike and figure out which hike we're going to go on. You know, they had them named. They were really well. They had really good names at each corner. You left and right. This was this hike. This was this hike. Had the length of it. They had a QR code. All the things. And then we see the sign. I mean, this sign was warning about spiders. I'm like, okay, like we know spiders live outside in the woods, right? Hogs. Bobcats. Yeah. No gator warnings. I've been on hikes with gator warnings. And I was a little bit freaked out. It was very like, I posted a sign of it yesterday on my Instagram, but it was like, keep small children nearby. Always hike with a buddy. Make sure you leave before sunset. I was just like, oh my God. So everything's fine. We're a little bit freaked. It's like, stay on the path. There was people out there like families, couples, what have you. So we thought, okay, we're fine. We get a couple of miles in. I said, what is that? We heard hogs. Like I all I know is I have seen hogs attack people. And then I remembered the sign that we had seen that listed hogs and bobcats. It was bobcat. What's near a I feel like coyotes was on there, but I don't feel like coyotes were. I feel like coyotes would have been in these woods, but it was the hogs that freaked me out. And I was like, we're turning around. We got out of there. You know what? I think we used to have, Jean said, did we have a Pinot's palette? I think we used to have one, and I've been there a couple of times with friends. And I don't think we have one. They're not open as much anymore. You know, obviously a lot of stuff closed down during the pandemic, but I think a lot of stuff like that, where it was like groups and small settings with social, you know, optional thing. I just don't think it lasted very long. I do too, Maybu. Maybu says, I love seeing very old graves. So interesting. One in Cornwall with pirates buried from the 1600s. Wow. It was just, I felt like if there was this big, tall, circular fence all around it that was locked, then it was very, you know, I just wanted to be, it was a weird place for it to be right near a hiking thing. I felt like we were in the wrong place or it was reburied in the wrong place. I couldn't figure it out. It was near Austin in San Marcos. So, and then we stayed at this, I guess it was like a hotel. It's somewhat new. It was, my daughter heard about it because the company or the owners, whatever, came out to her sorority and had promoted it to stay there for parents' weekend, for mom's weekend. So she's like, oh, Mom, this looks so cute. You know, we should book it. So I booked it not knowing that there was options. So we get there and we pull in. It's very retro, which was super cute. The sign was very retro, like the lit up neon signs. It was very cute. But then we see kind of like mobile home units, but like just square, like a smaller mobile home unit, like a rectangular, whatever. And we're like, oh, okay. And they had numbers on it. So we thought, okay, that's what we're staying in. Then we see things that look a little bit different, more like a bigger mobile home unit, more like a house. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what I booked. Like, I don't even know. So I'm like going to my, my app that I booked it on. And then a guy, very friendly, comes up in his golf cart and was like, hi. He's like, are y'all checking in? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are y'all staying here? And I'm like, yeah. And so they look it up. And then I got a text from the person. I was like 6 minutes early. So then I got a text from the person to check in and what our container number was. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting that they call these containers. Well, then our container was 2 numbers and everything else was 3 numbers. And I'm like, we're in the right spot because we saw the signs. It was a literal container. It was 200 square feet. It was brand new, but it was almost like a tiny home. Now, it was very clear that only 2 people can stay there. Well, that was fine because it was only me and my daughter, right? But I thought it was going to be a hotel. I don't even know what I thought it was going to be. They had some units off the river. Ours was not. Ours was kind of by the pool, which was good because we did go to the pool and hang out for an hour or so before we went to dinner. It's really cute. I mean, you can see that people would go there for like a weekend and like meet up with other people and like make friends with everyone. Because I think if you're choosing to stay at something like this, it was almost like a nicer, or not even nicer. I mean, I guess because it was brand new, but like an RV park. I guess people that camp and do RVs, they kind of do it based on the vibe they want to get, but also they meet new people that go there, like the pool and stuff. So it was really cute. We go in, you could literally see the bed, you could see the sink, the coffee pot, everything, the microwave. I mean, it had no microwave, a refrigerator. And then the bathroom was to the right, which was very nice, but had one of those sliding barn doors on it. Well, it's nice. The shower was nice. The little sink was nice. Toilet was a toilet. But then the entire wall was glass, no shades, no nothing, leading out from the bathroom. So anyone looking in could see you in the sink, the shower, the toilet, everything. And I'm like, this doesn't this is weird. Why would they do this? Well, then you go out and there's an outdoor shower out there that is fenced in, but there's space for a head to fit underneath if you wanted, and definitely space for people to see overneath if they wanted to. Now, I don't think, walking by it or whatever, anyone was going to do that or what have you, but it was interesting. It was interesting to take a shower, go to the bathroom, and know that somebody could see you like right in there. It was kind of weird. So what we did is we just shut the barn door at night because I took a video of it, but when I tell you it was a whole glass wall, just this big glass wall. Yes, I freaked out. I have joined this women's hiking group the last 3 or 4 years, and I do go on hikes with them, but I get really freaked out whenever I see like the alligator warnings or something. I'm like, like, I don't like that at all. Like, I'm more on hiking, but on concrete or like a padded thing that's like not necessarily animals. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not into that. Mary says I would have been like, thanks for the warning on the animals, and I'm out of here. I don't know if we have badgers here. We definitely have foxes, and especially in that area. Maybe you said most wild animals that we get in the UK are foxes and badgers. Very cute. It does. First of all, Texas is huge. I mean, it's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive to this daughter in college. And it's like, by the time I get there, I'm not much on driving anyways. Especially I was alone because, my husband stayed home with the 2 high schoolers and the dog. Plus it was only a mom's weekend thing. He had dad's weekend a couple weekends ago and he went up for that. So this was just mom's weekend. Jordy says, Texas is so huge. It has like 35 different ecosystems, desert to the sea, to the plains, to the forest, to the swamp. Amen. And then we're right next door to Louisiana, being in Houston. So, I mean, Sherry says, was it a vacation? I mean, it was mom's weekend for college. So, I don't. What was weird about this though, Nick James says, I love outdoor showers. So I grew up with a beach house. We had an outdoor shower. We're used to rinsing our feet off at resorts to get all the sand off and that type of thing. Or at a beach house. There was no outdoor door to it. So it's like you had to go through the house all riverish, which river water is a whole other world than just pool water or even lake water. The river is wild, AF, stinky, what have you. But there was no door from the outside. So you had to go inside to use the outdoor shower. So I thought that was kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah, Mayboo says I would not like that. Yes, K Kitty says, I'm obsessed with animals, but I don't want to hike in their backyard and end up as lunch. Yeah, and to me, I am all about like, this is your space. Like we are building, we're making these hiking trails, like we're all part of it. You know what I mean? Nick James says it's all part of the experience. Well, it sounds like you probably just want to be like naked outdoors, like a romantic thing. This was like just rinsing off, river water from you. So anyways, it was really cute, and it was a really comfortable bed. The bed was so comfortable. Had one of those air conditioning units that it was only 200 square feet is what the instruction, the description said once we got there. So it's very small, but it had one of those long rectangular white air conditioning units that I've only seen on House Hunters International. I was like, oh, I've seen these when they're like looking for other houses in other countries. So it was cute. Anyways, okay, let's get into a little bit of news. Erin Lichy from Real Housewives of New York City had her baby Jack, her fourth baby. I don't think they've said exactly when they had it, but they put out beautiful pictures. I mean, she did not look like a mom of four who just delivered a baby. So I think the pictures that I saw were of an organized party. She thanked the party planner. So this had been in the works for a while, probably obviously before Jack was born. And then once he was born, I think they do the brie it's called bris, not the brie. Brie is a cheese. They do the bris 8 days after they're born. But I think it's a little bit complicated as far as it's like the night of that before that or something like that. So whatever these pictures were, she put these very professional pictures of her, the family, just her and baby Jack, her and Jack and Abe. It was really cute, really, really, really cute. So congratulations to her. And on the news of other boys, Kim Zolciak. Did y'all see these pictures and go, what the hell? There is no way those two men-looking things are her little baby boys that used to run around on Tardy for the Party. Like, what? So, what are their names? No, Kai is the girl. No, Kaya. I feel like Kai is one of them. Whatever it is, she's got 3 boys and then, she's got 2 boys and then a set of boy-girl twins. Okay, so 2 of these boys in the picture must have been like a spring football awards ceremony or something. And she was like real proud of them. They are 12 years old and 13 years old in these pictures. And they're both 6'1" already. So there was no picture of her husband, her soon to be ex, but yeah. She did say the baby's due date at one point. He came Jen Helen says the baby came early. She mentioned the baby was due in April. But a lot of times you're due to, and I don't think she exactly knew when I don't know if she knew the exact due date because I don't think they were trying for that. I think it was a woo, so I don't know that anyone knew the exact dates, but anyways, the baby's here. He seems beautiful, happy, all the things. Oh God. Bond says in Arizona, they warn you of running into, is it javelinas or javelinas on hikes and weird wild boars? Yeah. When this word said hogs, I was like, not doing it. Not doing it with the hogs. I did not. So Raquel, Cash and KJ are 2 of them, but I feel like the other one is Kai and then Kaya, but I might be wrong on what are the kids' names? Somebody look it up real quick. What are Kim and N says no spoilers on White Lotus. Well, what if we would have chatted about it today? And we're going to chat 90 Day Fiance because that's what I watched last night. There's definitely Cash and KJ. And Kaya, I feel like, is the girl's name to the twin, but I can't think of what the other one's name is. Yeah, we've got Cash, KJ. Yeah. Topper says, don't tell anyone that I know that. I mean, right? We're like, we know Kim Zolciak Bierman's kids' names. I mean, when you're a reality TV fan, you're a reality TV fan, right? Okay, speaking of not wanting people to know that you watch 90 Day Fiance. So someone that watches 90 Day Fiance a lot, a Trumpet, messaged me last night saying this was all about The Last Resort. So tonight, which I'm probably going to watch just because I'm fascinated and I got to figure out what's going on with this. So I did not watch this season of The Last Resort. I was kind of over it from the first season. It was gross. It was, I mean, they just want to be on TV, which I get it, but I didn't love it. So I didn't watch The Last Resort this season. But tonight is the tell-all, and I love a TLC 90 Day Fiance tell-all. So I think I'm going to watch it. But somebody said that Gino and Jasmine, they were clearly on it. The whole point of the last resort is people in theory that are going through issues and want to stay together and come to this resort to work on things. I feel like something is tickling my nose, like a hair or a buzz or something. So it's driving me nuts. Like right there, right in my little that. Anyways, but I thought I'd read a few weeks ago that Matt and Jasmine got pregnant this past summer. And so the timing made sense. I don't know. Kane, thank you so much. Okay, Kaya and Kane are the twins. And then, yes, okay. And so then these pictures were KJ, were Cash and KJ. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Only 12 and 13 years old. They look like 17 easily. I mean, for sure. Anyways, hopefully they're turning into very sweet boys, given what they've all gone through. So I'm definitely going to watch that because I'm fascinated. I want to see this Chumpette was saying that they could tell that Jasmine, because Jasmine's normally very tiny, that Jasmine was pregnant on the Last Resort show. So if she's pregnant with another man's baby and she and Gino are on the Last Resort trying to act like they're trying to work things out, just grosses me out even more, I swear to you. Ooh, I don't think so. N said, is something beeping on your end every once in a while, like a fire detector battery low? I don't think so, but if it is, you have a really good hearing because I can't hear it at all. What is that show? Jordy says, anyone watching that $1 Million Secret on Netflix? I love it. Next episode, April 3rd. Oh, do you hear Luna snoring? Is that what you hear? I doubt y'all can hear that. There's a thing on my mic that makes sounds far away not show up very well. So I don't think y'all can hear her snoring. But anyways, I have not, and I don't think I'm going to start it. Raquel says, have I watched Netflix, the adolescent show? No, I've heard it's very hard to watch and, no. Don't think I'll be watching it. I mean, I can't believe I finished or almost finished The White Lotus. Ugh, I guess I'll watch that episode sometime the next day or two. Jasmine's already having a kid with someone else. Oh yeah, this guy Matt. Yeah, for sure. That's what I thought. Zepolatriturism. No way Jasmine could have been pregnant on The Last Resort. It was filmed March of 2024. Yeah, so the timing doesn't even make sense. And I heard, like I said, that makes sense that this was in March and she got pregnant sometime this past summer. So weird. Yes, they are gross. I mean, I used to feel bad for Gino and then I felt bad for Jasmine because I'm like, from the get-go, they were never having sex. And I'm like, why are you never having sex with her? Like, that's weird. Like, y'all have no kids distracting you, nothing, like, what are your excuses? You're early for years. They have not had a good sex life with their relationship. So, anyways, okay. 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 7. I keep saying it. I feel like Sarper and Shekinah are the only ones going to end up together. Like Greg and Joan, she's the one from Uganda. She had her shit together in Uganda. She comes here and now Greg's like, doesn't have a real job, lives at home. He keeps saying with mom, but I think it's with his mom and dad, 35 years old. They go out to dinner last week with his friends. And even the guy friends were kind of putting down Greg. Like, dude, you should have not taken that job. You've got to get a real job. Like, we all have houses and families and you haven't done anything. Like, I don't even know if he's ever moved out at 35. It's one thing if something happened in situations and you move back home, even to save up for the K1 visa. The K1 visa is that. What was that? Oh, somebody sent me a gift on. Thank you for the puff. Who was that? On TikTok. I can't even see who it was. I can't tell who it was. Well, thank you so much though. Sometimes, people need to save up for the K1 visa. So that I would understand a little bit more. But she gets here, and then Joan realizes that he plans to still live at home for like 2 more years. So they have to get married within 30 days or 90 days, or she has to go back to her country. So I think they will probably end up getting married. I don't know how quickly she can get a green card and start working here, but he needs to get off the damn video games and get a freaking job, because she is not playing. She's like, look, my dowry in my culture is what you have to pay. And he's like, well, what is that? And she's like, 15 cows. It's basically the equivalent of $3,000, which should be doable for a 35-year-old man. Like, seriously. And he's all like, nobody can afford that. I'm like, yeah, they really can. Like, and you should have been planning for that. If you know that you are dating from a woman from another country, then y'all need to be talking about these. Like, he needed to be telling her that he got offered this great job and didn't take it right before she was coming over to the States to live with him. And she needs to tell him, hey, in my culture, it is required that you pay this money. You buy these 15 cows to, for my marriage, for my family. It's weird. So weird. I just don't, they could end up working out. I feel like she's like 26, he's 35. I feel like she's not going to have much respect for him if he doesn't get a job. And she pretty much said last night, look, you've got to get a job or we're not getting married in these 90 days. And I absolutely agree with that for sure. Sean and Aaliyah are a whole other thing. It was very upsetting last night. So Sean and Aaliyah have been dating for 3 years as 2 men. Thank you again, whoever keeps sending me puffs or something over on TikTok. As 2 men. So Sean is a gay man attracted to men. So the fact that who was Douglas, her dead name is what they call it, is now Aaliyah, and Sean is having to like pivot and be A-okay with that, and then tell his friends and family, oh, by the way, the Douglas I've been talking about for 3 years is now Aaliyah. And then Aaliyah gets upset when they talk about the name. I think she just needed to say it, to say to his friend, hey, can we please stop saying the name Douglas? It really upsets. Or can we please, when someone is transitioning or transitioning like she is, she understands how much the dead name upsets her. Sean had no idea of that. He's like, you've never talked about this. I don't know that culture, so I don't know anything about that. Clearly, the friend that was at the dinner or having drinks with them, she didn't know about it. I don't think any of them were bringing this up to upset Aaliyah, but the fact that she chose not to say anything about it, and then she just keeps hearing her former male name that brings up all these negative emotions and upsets her. Like, I feel like she should have just said something. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. It was very upsetting, very emotional, very hurtful for Aaliyah. As much as I want Sean and Aaliyah to be together, he is 62 years old. She is 25. I mean, very different ages. I have no idea if they're wanting to start a family. No earthly idea. No, Stoney says, did anyone see Kelly and Rick talk about how hideous Heather Dubrow's dancing posts on Instagram are? She looks like a skeleton. I have seen a picture of them dancing to the APT song, the app, and I guess they're making a thing about their apartment that they live in, their, penthouse or whatever. But I don't know. She's always been very thin, though. Very thin. Wait, what? Lisa? Oh, you're number 57. Thank you. Well, there's 153 people on here. So please take 3 seconds to X out, hit the thumbs up button, then come back right in. I would really appreciate it. Lisa says, here I am, number 57. I'm in Hobby Lobby and forgot all about y'all. What do you find in Hobby Lobby? Make sure you buy only things on sale, because you know what? Everything goes on sale. So if it's not 50% right now, it'll be 40 or 50% next week. So don't pay full price at Hobby Lobby. Do they still do the coupon at Hobby Lobby? Remember, there was always a coupon. Then they had the app. You'd always try to figure out what your most expensive item was to spend at Hobby Lobby. I haven't gone to Hobby Lobby in a long time because We have a Home Goods now for the last 10 years or so. So I'm all over Home Goods, and it's even closer. So I love a Home Goods. I don't know. Do you think Sean and Aaliyah are going to end up together? I feel like they've already kind of ruined it by showing that she doesn't go to the wedding. I have no idea if that means they don't end up getting married. I don't know why TLC ruined it for us like that, because why would they already show that? And even if they were on this other show, what's it called? Not The Last Resort. Was it The Last Resort they were on? No, they're not on The Last Resort also. It was called like something, shit. There's so many 90 Day Fiancés. So many. Oh, you're getting beads. Wait, you have never gone to Hobby Lobby before, Lisa? You've never gone to Hobby Lobby. I came to look at beads. I'm getting out of here. You can definitely look at beads because they're not that expensive anyways. Are you making bracelets or something? That would be super cute. Wait, what? She is? Louise says Kelly Dodd said she's going on the ultimate girls trip she is going on ultimate girls trip during Beverly Hills recap. It's not with Bravo, is it? I have no idea what you're talking about. Is she going to be on this? So remember, even Andy Cohen kind of alluded to it last week, I think on Andy Cohen Live, that there could be some announcements. It's when he was talking to the Smith sisters, when two of the Smith sisters were in New York interviewing him, and they asked what these announcements were in April or May. And he said, well, we could have a few new TV show new show ideas. And I think he mentioned like some kind of mix-ups, maybe between like Below Deck meets Beverly Hills, maybe on an ultimate girls trip type thing. I would be shocked, but she is, people like to talk about her. She's definitely got lots of fans and people like to talk about her. Lisa says, well, I don't come here for a reason. I don't need decorations. My house is full, but I saw that lady on TikTok making the bead thing. So I've been here, but it's been a long time. Oh, okay. Okay, Pootie Cat said Kelly said she was going with a group of girlfriends. Like she's going to end up going to the same place. Oh, are they going to record it though? Because if you don't record it, that's just called a vacation. That's not an ultimate girls trip. That's called a vacation. And we all go on girls trips, vacations. It's not called an ultimate girls trip. Mary said, no, she's going with her girlfriends to Greece and they're calling it ultimate girls trip. Oh, okay. Okay, it has nothing to do with Bravo, everybody says. Oh, Stoney says it's a rich girlfriend's trip. Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that what they do on the boats when they go with that Asia? No, is Asia the first name? Yeah, Asia Jones and, with Megan and them. Yeah. Anyways, okay, Sarper and Shekinah. So he's still adjusting to her very small apartment, her work living space, whatever. She's basically got she does facials, she does Botox. I mean, she's an esthetician or whatever it's called, but she's all that equipment, everything is set up in what would be her kitchen. So anytime she's got a client come over, he's got to leave, which makes sense because, like I said, even last night, one of her friends or clients came over for a facial. Well, you take your clothes off, or at least your top, even when you get into a facial, but you're also gossiping and updating on your life. And, Shekinah's telling about her life. So nobody wants to hear that a man is upstairs. So I think eventually if she lets Sarper, be a physical trainer again, especially to females, then once he's able to work in the US, he'll be able to go on and do that. But for right now, he just got there. They're not even legally married in the US yet. And he has to leave every time that she has a client come over. Can't cook in the kitchen. So they go out with, it was like 5 of her adult friends. Now, Shekinah is 43. Sarper is 45. Okay. Shekinah has a kid, a teenage daughter. The people that she's hanging out with all looked alike, like very fake lips, probably fake boobs, probably the boat. I mean, they looked like they had a very similar lifestyle. So it kind of made sense. But this guy, Dan, is there that I guess she either dated or did. And he was very cocky. and very rude in front of Sarper, basically saying, yeah, I never thought y'all were going to be real. I didn't know y'all would last. I thought you were just going to blow her off, or she was going to blow you off. Like when she went to Turkey, had no idea that this would last. I mean, Sarper and Shekinah are both very jealous. The fact that she even allowed him to meet this guy, Dan, was very ballsy of her, because I think Sarper was probably seething inside, like seething. Yes, Cecile says Kelly's not rich, but she hangs out with rich people. Yeah, for sure. Ooh, I don't think, is that new? Gabby says, did Erica Jane quit Beverly Hills? I mean, no. What would her other job be? No, 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 no. I have not heard that. Sherry says, I want to go on a girls trip. I mean, me too. I love a girls trip. But it wouldn't be that fancy because I don't have whatever kind of money Kelly Dodd's friends have. It was very rude. It was very, I couldn't tell if this was a guy just playing up for the cameras. It almost seemed like, I feel like Mark's daughter with Mark and Mina. I feel like Mark's daughter, Jordan, kind of plays things up for the camera and just she wants some camera time. I kind of feel like this guy, Dan, was doing that, but it was very rude of him. So Mark and Mina meet up. It's his mom, his dad, his brother, his sister-in-law, his daughter, her boyfriend, Mina, their daughter, look like two nephews. I mean, it was a really sweet family together. They look like they all really get along, except they all finally let Mark know, look, it didn't go well in France. Like, we showed up in Paris. She wasn't overly friendly to anyone. She was late to the baptism party. She told her friends that she would be late to the baptism party, but she never told any of us. So we're all standing around doing nothing. It was weird. Did she really leave? Is that somebody send me that? Well, can't send it, but verify it. I saw on Facebook that Erica Jane is leaving. I would be shocked because I don't think she has much else going on. Like, trust me, we were at the second night of her concert in Las Vegas, and it was not filled up for sure. Louise says, I rarely listen to Rick and Kelly, but I wanted to hear their opinions on Beverly Hills. She sure hit the jackpot with that Rick. He adores Kelly. Are they doing recaps again? I thought they quit doing that after OC. Remember, they were doing a whole recap of OC and then they kind of quit. I mean, yeah, but I don't know that she is mad. I don't know that she's ride or die. She might be die. K Kitty says, Rick is 1,000% ride or die for Kelly. He's madly in love with her. Yes. I do just sense something different with him the last 6 months or so for sure. Very interesting. Okay, somebody verify. Yeah, Louise says, I'm surprised to say it, but I like Rick. I can't stand Kelly, but I do like Rick. They are doing recaps, which is interesting because she's like, F Andy Cohen, F the housewives. But why are you recapping the housewives then? Like, that's weird. Yes. Heather says, I just feel that more research into the countries and cultures of their love interest, something is tickling my nose and is driving me nuts, but there's nothing there. So sorry about that. I'm focused on it. Of their love interest before they meet would be beneficial to all parties. Yeah, I mean, they meet. Almost all of these people from 90 Day Fiance meet from these international dating apps. Very few of them have just been on vacation and met, like the ones that met from the one vacation. She literally got pregnant. They've gone on to have 2 boys since then. They've since divorced, I think. That couple, other people have met on vacation, but a lot of them meet on these apps as if, look, I'm into Brazilians, I'm into Colombians, I want to marry an Asian woman. I mean, they very clearly have a type that they're interested in, which is great, but they just don't seem to talk. And that's been a running theme of this whole season 11. None of these couples seem to know anything about each other. Like they've been dating for years and they don't seem to know, oh, you had a job that you didn't accept. And now I'm coming over here and you live with mom. Oh, and you want us to live with mom for 2 or 3 more years. Like, they haven't had big conversations that they need for sure. Oh, they are? K Kitty says, because the listeners keep asking them to do recaps. Aren't there enough people doing recaps in the world? I mean, it's one thing, but if they're gonna like dog them and dog Andy Cohen and F Andy Cohen and I don't know. It's just interesting. Interesting when people are so negative and then they're like, fired from the show. Was Bethany? I don't think Bethany was actually fired, but Bethany last week was like rewatching. Now she sends to stop. Bethany goes from topic to topic to topic. I mean, on her Instagram and her TikTok, because right now she's not talking anything about Roni, but then other days she does. So it's kind of weird. I hope it does. I don't know how big is Newsmax. I mean, like I wouldn't even know how to find Newsmax on my. Is it an app or is it on like cable or DirecTV? Gene White says, I think Rick's Newsmax gig pays pretty well. I mean, it should pay well. He's, got 30, 40 years of experience for sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. Melissa says, I'm not sure Rick's contract is so large. His Newsmax show is online only, and Newsmax 2 is not the regular Newsmax. Yeah. Okay, Nick James can't find anything about Erica Jane quitting, so I don't know if that's true yet either. I hope it's not true for sure. Yeah. Oh, they did see, and I actually thought the finale was boring. I didn't think it even looked like a finale. Louise says, I hated their negativity, but was surprised they were not at all negative about Beverly Hills finale. They loved it. Really? See, I didn't even think it looked like a finale. It was so different. It was done so differently. Yes, Mariah says Bethany Frankel's social media behavior is erratic, without a doubt. Erratic is a good word. Okay, so Mark and Mina, another one. I just don't know that they're, and I mean, if she hasn't said 12 times already, I should just go back to France. I should have just stayed in Paris. We should have never come over. Well, you've already got a 2-year-old baby with him. So, living in 2 different countries is not super ideal to both, parents being involved in your daughter's life. Now, she has made no mention of this 9-year-old son. But I'm assuming if he is able to come over to the US and live with her, then that dad is either not in the picture or he is given permission for him to come over to America, which is very interesting because I think that's a hard call to make to let your kid go over to another country and live. This is like bugging me. This little patch of poofy hair right there. It's like pubic hair like landed on my head or something. Oh, Stony says, oh, Rick and Kelly have no money. They're grifters. Aren't they the ones that created that word? Why do I feel like, who created the word grifters? Was it Jeff talking about Crystal Lamas? I feel like that word grifter is used all the time now. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. But what do we do about the fact that Mark has a whole ass family here? He's got 2 grown adult children. And so if he goes and lives in Paris, then he's got a job still here. He's only 58, so he still works. Cecile says Mina needs to go home to her son. She only cried about the son the first episode. Now she's barely mentioned him this is episode 7. She's barely even mentioned her son now all these times. Anyways, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Sarper and Shekinah are going to be the only ones ending up together, and I would have never thought that. I did take a picture of it and post. She's in this tight dress, which is, kind of Shekinah's thing. She likes to dress very sexy and in form-fitting clothes. The butt, I mean, her butt, it's like her waist was here and then her butt went out. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, did you have a butt surgery? Have you been doing squats out the wazoo? I mean, last time I saw them on a tell-all, they were eating sticks of butter. Like whatever, what is that? It's like keto, but like they were literally eating sticks of butter. Like, I don't know what they eat, like meat and butter is what they eat. You know what I mean? Oh, Louise says, I'm so relieved to know that Kelly's ultimate girls trip is not with Bravo. After all the shit she said about Bravo, they better not have that B back. Anyways, okay, did you see my video or did you hear it live like I did? Andy Cohen's son. So Andy was in Las Vegas for the last couple of days, having a fun dad's weekend with some high school friends, seeing Grateful Dead at the Sphere, like one of his most favorite things ever. He comes home, his nanny calls in sick, and then Ben wakes him up all night long, literally all night long, throwing up and others. So, like, from both ends, it was coming out. He had some sort of virus, some sort of sickness. So Andy said, look, I need to work from home. I don't have anyone to help. And Ben is sick. I don't think he had school today. There was some sort of holiday going on, but Lucy went to school, but Ben didn't. But eventually Ben like walks in and he gets on the mic and Andy says, did I do a good job of taking care of you last night when you were sick? And Ben Cohen goes, definitely. Like, you definitely took care of me. You had all the towels and I didn't hardly ever throw up on the floor because you put all the towels down. It was very, very, very sweet. I don't know that. I mean, Ben is 6 years old. For one thing, he never brings Ben and Lucy to radio. They're usually at school, or when they were in pre-K, nursery school, they called it before that. But he's just never, even if he's at home, even if he's working from home, he was usually not on radio. So that was the first time I've ever heard him on radio. If y'all have heard him on radio before, I've never heard him. It was really cute. That was only about a minute worth, but it was very sweet. Yes, Melissa says that was so sweet. Ben seems like a very bright boy. Yeah, it was very cute, very sweet. Carnivore diet. Yeah, that's what they call it. Lincoln, the golden carnivore diet. I mean, whatever's going. For sure. I mean, but I've just never seen it. Like, every outfit she wears is very form-fitting. Like when she wears shorts, when she wears a dress. So I'm like, where did this shelf come from? Heather says you can plant a can of beer on that butt. I mean, clearly the carnivore diet is working. Ooh, I don't think it's that bad. Sherry says Sarper and Shekinah will end up on the Dateline episode. No. Let's not put that out there. That's gross. I don't want to think about that. Okay, let's chat today's Jeff Lewis Live. Has anyone heard of Mickey Guyton before? I mean, she's beautiful, very sweet, married to an attorney, has a 4-year-old boy, a 4-year-old son. I guess she's 41 years old. She was on American Idol. She's a country singer or country artist, I guess. I had no idea who she was. I kind of wasn't, do I think she's a good fit? I don't know. I feel like most of the people, how do you say this? I feel like most of the time, like normal people with jobs and good relationships and got their head on straight and their careers, those aren't normally the best fit for Jeff's chumps. And I mean that in the best way. I just mean in general, I don't want too many like normies like that. They can't relate to like Jeff's stories or single or tell us stories or going out, whatever. Oh, she's been on Watch What Happens Live. See, I don't remember her at all. But you know what? I've told y'all for the last probably 2 years for Watch What Happens Live, unless it's a really good guest that I want to see, I don't watch it. There's just not enough time in the day. And I used to catch when Watch What Happens was live, literally whatever it was, Sunday through Thursday every week. I definitely watched it live for sure. Bond says, I gotta say, I'm sort of bored with Jeff dragging everyone, including a new guest. It's not so funny anymore to me. Do you feel like he dragged Mickey today? Or who do you mean in particular? Because I thought he was kind of dragging Ryan a little much today. And at one point, I thought Ryan was getting upset, and then I couldn't tell if he was just doing it for the, for the ratings, whatever. My back is hurting. Stoney says, Mickey has been on the Today Show concert series and Hoda a few times. Like, they love her, but I'm surprised she only has 200,000 followers. She's a big country star. Oh, okay. Well, being a big star and then being big on Instagram are two almost different things, because if you don't post a lot, which she might not, especially having a husband, that's an attorney, he might, and her being 41 years old, like she just may not be into the whole Instagram posting of it all. You know what I mean? But because you kind of got to post a lot to get, and you got to kind of boast really good stuff. You know what I mean? Um, oh, oh, she did get some surgery. What did she get done when she was there? I feel like she got her boobs done. Remember, she got a couple of things done while she was in Turkey. Sherry says she was in Turkey. Apparently, cheap plastic surgery there. Definitely cheap plastic surgery there. But I didn't know she got her butt done. You know what I mean? I mean, that butt, that shelf looked like whatever. That's true. Heather says, I wonder what happened between Jeff Lewis and Nikki Haskell. She was on so often and now she's never on. Also, Josh Flagg is not on as much as he used to be. Last time it used to be Josh Flagg and Tracy Tudor all the time, I guess, to promote $1 Million Listing LA. And then now they're not really on since $1 Million Listing LA is not on very much. Thank you, Linz. Nikki always came on with Josh Flagg. Yeah, so that's kind of weird that they're not really on anymore. The Cian update. What do you think? So last week on Cian's birthday, he turned 27. I guess the day before that, he was supposed to have this video turned in. He didn't have it ready. Then Jeff gave him to the next day. He still didn't have it all completed. Then later in the week, he was 37 weeks. He was 37 weeks pregnant. He was 37 minutes late to coming into the office when Jeff was in Dallas, and Jeff was very angry, very upset about that. So for whatever reason, I don't understand it. Neither does Ryan Bailey, but he has his attorney Marlo write up, Cian. I'm like, shouldn't that be like Shane's? Shane is, what do they call Shane? CEO, president, whatever they call him. I feel like Shane could have easily Googled something, AI'd something, how to write up an employee, and had Cian sign it and then put it in his folder. I don't feel like whatever Jeff had to pay his attorney, that should have been done. But he did say that Cian signed it. He felt remorseful. He tried to reach out to Jeff a few times over the weekend, and it didn't sound like Jeff answered him. But Jeff did say, hey, let's move on. But now we know that Ty flew back from Dallas. So I don't think that was in the plans. I'm kind of curious what that last minute flight must have cost, because that could have cost a lot to get like a flight the day before or the day of. So he mentions Ty at dinner last night. And I'm like, dinner last night? I'm like, he should have flown home Saturday, because he said he flew there Thursday and he said he was only there 48 hours. So they went to dinner last night. Then he tells us that Ty has gotten 3 women pregnant. Well, that he's had 3 pregnancies. I don't know if it was 3 different women or not. I guess he didn't really say anything about how many women it was. But he's not a dad, because 2 of those pregnancies ended in miscarriages and 1 was an abortion. So Ty is 52. Jeff is 55. Jeff has admittedly been with women until his mid-20s. I think he started up at least until his mid-20s. I think in his early 20s, he said he started experimenting with men, but he was kind of back and forth and kind of liked both. So I'm assuming Ty is of that same generation. And clearly, if he got 3 people pregnant at one point, he's clearly been involved with women's is, oh, see, a hair was tickling me on my waist. I just got out of the shower, so I can't stand when hairs tickle me. Jean says, I think Ryan is a good sport, but the bedwetting shtick is getting to be too much. And what was with the caller? I guess she's a fan. So was she saying Ryan's ex-wife? Was Ryan married before? For those that listen to So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey podcast for a long time, was he married before? Because it maybe sounds like the caller called in and said that. It was something about when he was married, he used to go out into the garage and poop into a bucket, I guess so he didn't stink up the one and only bathroom with his wife. That was very interesting. Whatever it was, Ryan did not want to replay the story. He didn't want to be like, is all we're going to talk about is gross things I did, like the insinuation that he was into guys because he worked at a spa where gay men happened to go, sometimes. She used the words hide from his ex-wife. So yeah, so his ex-wife. Wow. It felt like that last week. I talked about that. It felt very, and so did the ChumpCon drama over the little people, the magic show, the Todd and Carrie of it all. It felt a little produced. Gene White says, I think they're using the Cian drama for content. And that's what they're all for. I mean, it's Jeff's life. If he has nothing going on, then we're going to hear about the same stories left and right. The dog, Monroe, whatever. But first of all, I sort of wondered if Ty knew he was going to share the story that he'd gotten 3 women pregnant or 3 people pregnant, and 2 had miscarriages and 1 had an abortion, because, he might have wanted to tell Jeff that, but not the whole world that. I thought it was very interesting. Which one? Shelly says, lots of newbies commenting today. Not newbies, but maybe new names that I haven't seen before. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Love that y'all are getting comfortable in comments. Shelly says, I agree. He's just reaching for content about Cian. And the Annie stuff, I mean, she is holding her own, but I've said all along, she will hold her own. But today, again, he was trying to slam her for ordering the wrong location a couple of times. So I guess they do, why can't somebody just go pick it up? I mean, I guess he must think it's worth it to pay the fees for DoorDash or whatever they're using, versus one of his employees just going to pick up food. But I remember on Flipping Out, somebody used to go and pick up the food, but now delivery is a lot more common. But I guess Annie has the task of ordering lunch for everybody. And she was like, yeah, give that to Cian. Like, I don't want that job. I'm like, well, he's given it to you. So, but I guess instead of, when they order from like places that have multiple locations, she's ordered from the further away place. Well, that's just going to take the person longer. They're going to expect a bigger tip, but it's also going to take longer for the food to get there. So, Gabby says, if I worked with Jeff, I would ask him to sign an NDA. LOL. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it works that way, because I think Jeff very clearly says y'all are to be used for content. Candace says, it was weeks ago when Doug had all the chumps there. He did the regular cooking kibitz and then started a new video showing the party, and Ty was shown for a good long minute. He's fit, black, and beautiful. Somebody did tell me that Ty was shown on Cooking Kibitz, but and that video, I assume Doug always leaves those videos up. So if he left that video up, then it should still be up for everyone. Shelly says, I'm not a fan of Annie. She is not talent. She is behind the scenes, or so I thought. Well, I think Jeff brings everyone, I think he'd rather that's why I think Cian is talking more lately. Remember when Cian was first hired, the first time, he was hardly ever on mic. And when he was, he never said anything good. Now, when they had the video for the little while, it almost seemed, I think Luna, she coming in? It seemed like he didn't even want to talk whenever he was on. But then when the video was on, you would see Cian on the video. Like, you would see him talking. It's just like he came back with a different personality. A lot of y'all think that Annie is red flags. Some of y'all are saying, wow. Anyways. Oh, I can teach you how to do a screen record. She says, I wish I knew how to do a screen record so I could show our friends here. Well, you can just share the video. There's really not a way to put the video on here. Oh, thank you, Bon. I'm kind of new here, Sarah, but I listen to your pod every day. Just caught you live this time. Love to chat about Jeff. Well, welcome. Is it Bon or Bone? Am I saying it right? Anyways, welcome. Yeah, I wonder what it costs to fly him last minute for basically another 36 hours. I mean, Dallas to LA, that's a long flight. I mean, not, across the country, but it's still a long flight. And then he got up early this morning and flew back so he could go to work. I'm just like, man, basically to be there Saturday afternoon and all day Sunday. I mean, not bad. Okay, on the second hour was Lakendra Tukes and Ryan Bailey. But, what do y'all think? I think the first couple of times I liked Lakendra. I thought, okay, she's out of a relationship for a couple of years. She knows what she wants. She wants to get married. She wants to have a baby. She's got a lot of confidence. It just seemed a lot today. And I think Ryan even heard that. Ryan was like, wow, if I had a piece of your confidence. And then what's the other word he used? Did he use cocky or confidence? He used some other word. I don't think he said what Ty's job is. Shelly says, do we know what Ty's job is? I don't think we know. But a lot of jobs are so where you can work from home. I'm sort of surprised he wouldn't stay a whole nother day. But then again, Jeff's going to be at work in the morning and all day. So, I guess it made sense for him to fly home. Yes, today. Yeah. Linda says, was that on Today's show about Ty? Which part? About him flying home to LA with him for a day or two? Yeah. Oh, wait, it's actually Bonnie. Oh, so it is Bon. Okay, so Bonnie. Cute, Bonnie. Bon says, I find Lakendra obnoxious. She was a bit, it was a bit much today. Like, I don't know. It was interesting. I didn't love it for sure. Bon says, I liked how Ryan tried to shoot back at Jeff about making out all over the bar. You could tell Jeff was pissed. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Bailey was like, why are you dogging me? Like, you weren't even seen. You were like making out in every part of the roundup. You know what I mean? Oh, Linda says, by the way, Jeff stayed at the Jewel last time he was in Dallas, not the Warwick this time. Okay. I could tell it sounded like he stayed somewhere new, but, he never says where he stays, so I wasn't sure. Raquel says, Ty said his mom said, oh, that's right. Okay, I'll read this and then I'll tell the story. Raquel said, Ty said his mom said, you need a guy like him when watching Flipping Out. So Jeff shared the story that Ty's mom has passed away, but years ago, he used to watch Flipping Out. And one day she was watching Flipping Out and Jeff was on and he told Ty, you need a guy like that. So he thinks that's kind of how they got put together, is because his mom kind of put them together that way. So it's very cute. Yes, I did. Raquel said, did you see Scott and Gabe's picture of them in a pool? It didn't even look like Gage. You said Gabe. Gage. It didn't even look like Gage in this picture of them, I guess, in Cabo. There's no picture of the baby. I think Scott has probably stopped showing his son's face, Stone's face. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't follow either one of them. And, so it is definitely, is it on both their, and I don't know whose Instagram, I can't check Gage's. I don't even think it had a caption at all. What did it say? Yeah, the pool picture it was definitely on Scott's because I looked at it last night. So we were on, people had sent it to me during the day already, but we were on our Ask Me Anything last night live. And we were talking about how it didn't even look like him. Oh, that's when y'all told me about it. And I pulled up the picture on my iPad. Oh, because of the picture. Oh, Raquel says, I think Jeff acted like this weekend because of that picture. Like jealous of the picture. I don't know. It was weird. It's definitely on Scott Anderson's Instagram grid. For sure. Anyways, he still has not seen Ty's apartment yet. He says he wants to. He says he wants to do it because the chumps want him to. And Shane is like, well, don't do it just for that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think he will eventually. I don't know. If they break up, I'm like, I don't know. Who's Jeff going to end up dating? Someone famous, a normal person again, someone kind of in the middle. I feel like if this causes a problem with Ty for him sharing the information about getting the people pregnant, we already don't really hear anything. I mean, they said, Jeff says they don't really fight or argue. So we don't hear any of that, which is good. I think we got plenty of that with Stu, plenty of that with the pauses, plenty of the breakups with Scott, plenty, obviously the back and forths with Gage. all of that negativity. So it's kind of nice to have them in a normal relationship. It just doesn't lend itself very well to content, right? Anyways, okay, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining live. It is so much more fun when you get in comments. If you can't join us live, join us on the YouTube replay and you can hit the live chat button and then you can at least see all the comments that were there. The Instagram or the TikTok doesn't go up, but you can, of course, join there also every day. And you can, of course, listen as a podcast at Sarah from Texas podcast. I think tomorrow I will watch The Last Resort. So we'll either chat that or the latest episode of The White Lotus. I'm not sure, or a little bit of both. We'll see. Anyways, I will join you tomorrow. Thank you. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Bye, Chumpettes. Bye, Instagram.